And we're back, and we're moving into our second conversation for today. This is one of the opportunities that a lot of people don't actually know about, and so we're going to get more details from Michelle Williams and Jonah Supaul, and we're talking about a yoga scholarship, and this is being done through the Indian government in conjunction with Rhythm of Change.
It's an initiative by the Indian government, and of course it's being offered through the Indian High Commission and the Consulate of India to Belize.
Yeah.
With collaboration with ROC, we're helping to support the candidates.
Yeah.
Let's go back a bit. Yoga. I think perhaps it's still new to some people in terms of understanding the purpose of yoga and that sort of stuff. Can you explain that in some context?
A simplistic answer to that is yoga simply is a tool to help cope with the stresses and some diseases of life. It's one tool. It can help mentally, emotionally, physically, of course physically, and spiritually. And so it's all those things. It's just a coping mechanism, a technology.
Yeah.
And an ancient, scientifically proven technology.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I wanted to get at. You know, Jonah, you're from Punta Gorda, right? What got you into yoga?
Well, I started yoga when I was 17. A friend introduced me to it. And I was always interested in fitness. And I tried going to the gym. I tried different sports, basketball, volleyball. I was on the Jaguar team in UB, and none of it really had much of an impact on me. This is wow, this is the fitness routine that I want to. And then when I started to do yoga, I realized that this not only helped me physically, so helping me tone my muscles, build muscles, and get my strength up, but it inspired a level of discipline in me that I did not know I had.
Yeah.
So I started practicing it more and more. The fair few times that they had classes, I tried to attend, and then I noticed that I could unlock new abilities with my body that I did not know was there. So I noticed I started taking much more deeper breaths. I was much more in control of my thoughts, my actions. I was much more focused in school when I was at school. And just like Michelle said, it's a tool that you could use to apply in any part of your life, regardless of what you do.
Yeah.
You could be an athlete and use yoga to develop your athletic ability. You could be a businessman and use it to increase your focus so you could manage large amounts of people at a time. You could be whatever it is, a doctor, a teacher. It's just something that I know that can help anybody with whatever they do.
Yeah. Now, clearly, I think with the science that has come out, there's a lot more interest in yoga. And I wanted to ask, everybody is attracted. The first attraction is for something different. Is it more fitness that brings them in? Like they want to do a good exercise? Is it flexibility and stretching? I want to, have less joint pain, or is it meditation that brings them in?
Well, it's interesting that you should say that. When I first started Shanti here in Belize, the interest was purely physical.
Yeah.
And it's that allure of getting your body into these positions and that sort of thing. But as time has gone by and as we have created more awareness of the myriad benefits that come with yoga, mindfulness is one of them.
Yeah.
I've found that people are now coming for the mindfulness benefits. So they're coming not only for the physical, but also to learn really how to practice mindfulness throughout their day and to incorporate it in their lifestyle. So both. One thing also that's becoming really, really popular at Shanti is restorative yoga. And so that doesn't involve much movement, but that just it allows for you to really kind of de-stress the body and to practice mindfulness while you're doing that and to practice the breathing techniques. So I'd say all of the above is happening now.
But you've seen that shift where it's gone from people coming in for fitness to now people are coming in for the mindfulness aspect.
For sure. And I will tell you that I usually find that the people that come for fitness, they come for fitness and they realize that there's so much more, and they want to explore all the different areas.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of really beautiful to witness, to the evolution of the interpretation of what yoga is in Belize.
So this opportunity is for a person to be able to be trained as a yoga teacher in India.
So it is a fully paid scholarship.
Yes.
So the government of India is funding the airfare, the visa. When they get there, they have a very nice room, and they also have all their meals. They're introduced to the Sadvik way of eating, which is the yogic diet, and all their tuition. They go to classes. He can tell you a little bit more about that probably, but they also give you a stipend so that when they take you out on trips, that you can purchase memorabilia or things that maybe bring back gifts or things that will keep.
How long is the
It's approximately 1 month.
Yeah.
But we have one candidate that's just arrived for the August-September course, but we have a course every month, all the way into 2020.
Wow.
So what we're asking is that if you do apply, give yourself enough time to hear back to see if you're accepted, and that if you are accepted, give yourself enough time so that, because your passport will have to go to Mexico to get the visa, and those are time consuming things that need to happen. So give yourself enough time. Like if you were looking to apply now, I wouldn't apply for the September. I would go for the October maybe, just to give, so it's not so rushed. But I would like for Jonah, and I think
Jonah, you went last year? Yeah.
He had sent some pictures of his time too.
So what prompted you to apply?
Well, it was Michelle, and then also, as a young kid, I used to always dream about going somewhere far off to train in some way that would strengthen me mentally, and then this was also the perfect opportunity. So this was the realization of my dream, which was a beautiful thing for me.
So it was your first time traveling?
First time on a plane.
First time on a plane, and you went all the way to India.
Yeah,
India is so far away, and you have the layover and that sort of stuff.
I spent 3 days traveling, going, and 3 days traveling, come back.
Yeah.
But it was meant to be, because I feel as though you were going home a little bit. You know, it was
definitely.
So you decided to take the leap and apply. Tell me about what you learned when you were there.
Well, incredibly interesting stuff. Like, I've never been in an institution where I've actually seen like pure intelligence. Like the people there, they really try to cover 360 degrees of everything that they're teaching. So they have a program that they have that it's sort of like a clinic, and they have over 250 patients there, and all of these people have diabetes. And they put them through different yoga classes throughout the day, and they adjust their diet as well. So all their meals are prepared for them, and also all the food is grown at the school. So the school has their own farm. Everything's organic. Everything's grown on the farm. And within the period that they've been active and having these people go through this diabetes program, they've actually cured some people of diabetes, which is pretty amazing for me, because it shows that this information is out there. And so now it's just the application and the getting of this information and spreading it throughout the world, which is their goal.
They were actually SVYASA University was actually featured on CNN as one of the leading, well, I think maybe even the only yoga research university that can back up, you know, and can actually prove that there is scientific research
for the health benefits.
For the health benefits, easing diseases.
So what is the hope here in having Belizeans being able to travel to India? And we have to say, you know, this is such a great opportunity, because there's being trained for yoga, and then there's being trained for yoga in India.
You know, it's when in 2015 I was in India, and doing some of my advanced training, and I got a email from the Consulate of India here asking me if I would want to meet with the High Commission because they were just implementing International Day of Yoga, and they wanted me to help them promote it. And so I had the privilege of meeting the High Commissioner at the time. And he told me that, you know, this was a voluntary position, it wasn't a paid position, and if I would accept that. And I said, of course, that's no problem. The only thing that I would really want, and this was in 2015, was if somehow they could provide scholarships for Belizeans to go to India, because I feel like I've done trainings in all over the world, but there was something incredibly powerful about being in India. And when last year when this came came to fruition, it was kind of like a dream come true for me to see Belizeans able to have this opportunity for sure. Yeah.
So it's 1 month of intensive training.
1 month of intensive training. They'll learn anatomy. You learn anatomy.
Yeah. Tell me what you learned, and also what level were you at? Do you have to be like an advanced level? How do you know that you are ready?
They want you to be practicing yoga already. Ideally, if you're already a yoga teacher, that would help, because you know you'll understand a little bit more what is being taught. But I think as long as you're practicing yoga and you have that desire to give back, because the whole purpose of this is for you to go out and to really share with your community and to be a part of the change that we're trying to accomplish.
So when you got there, did you feel intimidated that perhaps you weren't as skilled or been as advanced in your practice as the others?
Not really, because the way how they introduced us to the whole concept, they start at the very beginning. So basics, they taught you like as if you've never done yoga before in your entire life. So even if you've never done yoga before and you go and you apply for the scholarship, you will be brought up gradually. They're not just going to throw this whole bunch of information at you and expect you to understand. So that was very nice for me, and being that I've already been doing yoga before, I just sort of kept up with the speed that they were going. What was interesting to me about what they taught was about stress management and the effects of stress on the body. And it was sort of like an epiphany for me, because there's so many things that happens when you are in a stress state that could lead to the worsening of other problems in you. Because stress is not necessarily bills or like a lost family member or some sort of disaster in your life or in the environment. Stress is like a response system in their body. So everybody has this stress response system. And when this stress response system is activated, there's a few things that happen. Like your alertness goes up, your breathing rate goes up, your heart rate goes up, and what particularly happens that could be damaging to you is that the production of cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and then also the influx of sugar being released into your bloodstream. Because the stress response is the fight or flight response. So with this large amounts of sugar going into your bloodstream, with this large amounts of cortisol going into your bloodstream, continuously being in a stress state without any means of like relieving the stress, whether through exercise, through meditation, or through food and nutrition, over time it periodically damages your body. It lowers your immune system and inhibits your body's ability to fight diseases in the most efficient manner. So learning how to manage the stress, there's actually a stress management program there.
Wow.
So learning these different techniques and how to apply them towards somebody's daily life or whatever they do, regardless of whether they have a disease or not, was really interesting to me, and that's what I've been trying to teach in my classes.
So you now teach yoga in PG.
He has his own studio.
Yes, it's called.
It's called Mind and Movement Yoga.
Okay.
And he does a lot of work with. You've done a couple workshops.
So I've had two diabetic workshops where I've taught yoga and yoga management of diabetes, and then I've also taught stress management workshops. And recently I led the International Day of Yoga in PG, where I also talked about stress. And what I plan to do now, since the school is reopening, is also have these workshops offered to the different teachers so that they understand the concept of stress and how it affects the body. And then also, I want to be able to teach the students as well to introduce this concept of stress management, because I'm not particularly sure if people understand what stress is and what actually happens
How it can
within
impact
your body.
Yeah. All right. So Jonah is one of 5 students who've taken advantage of the scholarship.
Yes, he's one of 5. So we have Frida is in Belmopan, and she now has her own yoga business called Freedom Yoga. And she also works with Rock. She teaches at the prison and at the youth hostel. And then we have Vianney, who has incorporated yoga in a business that she already had. She's an exercise physiologist, and now she incorporates yoga with her clients. And she also works with Rock and teaches at Martin de Porres School, the kids yoga. We have a program there twice a week. And then Bryce is in Placencia, and she holds free classes for her community on stress management. And I think that's it. So it's
And Jonah.
And Jonah. Yeah,
And then
so
you have a student there now.
we have a student there now, and we've had some apply already. So we're just waiting for acceptance.
How easy is it to get the scholarship, or how difficult, I should say?
I think what they're looking for is a sincere interest to share with your community and to people that might not be able to access yoga studio. So if you're in an area, a remote area, and you will be able to hold a community class or be able to hold workshops to help people, I think that's that sort of thing. If you have that give back mentality, and also if you have that genuine interest to share.
And it's a certified course. It's like,
well, I would say it's beyond certification, because it's at this university that is, it's a yoga research university. It's
so it's a
world-renowned university. And one of the things that I really like about their approach is that they use modern medical research, scientific research, and kind of merge it with Eastern philosophy and the wisdom of the East. And so you get a really nice combination of both.
Yeah.
And that's very unique.
Complementary medicine.
And then you
that's
also
what
get to travel around parts of India, immerse yourself in the culture and the food. So
what would you say, Jonah, to somebody who's watching and saying, maybe I'll do it, I'm not that good at yoga, or maybe I'm...
For me, it was an incredible experience. That place was heaven on earth. Like, I was expecting, like, just very, like, not so, the conditions of the place that we were at was far beyond what I expected. The rooms, we had our own private rooms, there was AC, there was hot water, there was a safe.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, there's a safe, and there's an actual combination.
Yeah.
They gave you 3 meals a day, so it was buffet style. I was eating at least 8 pounds of food a day.
Wow.
And everything was organically grown, it all tasted delicious. And I lost weight, even though I was eating 8 pounds of food a day. And all the teachers, specifically the teachers, they all have at least a master's degree. So they do know what they're talking about. They're incredibly in depth with the information. And they also try to inspire this, not only the information, but this mentality about yoga, about this peace, this loving, and also the application of this in real life, right?
Yeah.
So everybody there was incredibly friendly. They took their time with you. If you had any questions, you could just go there and ask them, and they would answer them with
and
no
you're
problem.
you're also learning with students from all around the world. Miriam, she just texted me this morning. She's there with people from Ethiopia, from Sri Lanka, from Guatemala. So it's a real cultural immersion and time to really learn as much as you can about yoga.
Yeah. How does one apply?
Well, there's a link online because you apply online first. But I would recommend that they email me at info@yogahealsbelize.com, and I'll explain the process. You fill your online application out, and you have to upload a picture onto that application. And then you print out the application. There's a medical form that needs to be filled out, signed and stamped by a medical doctor. And you send it to me at 10 Fort Street in Belize City, the Rock headquarters, and you send it with your picture page of your passport, any certification, academic certification, high school degree, or yoga certification, and with 2 passport pictures, and the medical form and the application, and then we send that off to the High Commission and wait for the reply. So it's as easy as that.
Okay.
So it's just an online link. People can call me too or WhatsApp me, and I'll send them the link at 610-0882.
That's right. And it's airfare, accommodation, meals, and a stipend for a month of training in yoga at a renowned institution.
Renowned Yoga Research University.
Nice. All right. Well, we hope that those who are watching, you've gotten a couple more people who would be interested, and they'll be in touch with you. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right. We're going to go ahead and take that final break, and when we come back, we'll have a wrap up. So stay tuned.